Hello, Assalamualaikum, and hi everyone, and
Hi,
good
everyone.
afternoon. I am DJ Ray, and my partner for today is
DJ Nas.
DJ Nas. And as usual at this hour, you guys with us in the segment. What the segment?
Story of the day.
Yeah, story of the day. So we are going to discuss what's other topic that we are going to discuss today, DJ Nas.
So today we invite a person that that have experience on disabilities. So
We have a special guest for today, which is Miss Nur Fatihah binti Muhammad Shukri from Special Education Division. Hi Miss, how are you?
Hi. I'm not really good, but then I'm still good.
Yeah.
we are praying for your good of health. Inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss. First of all, we would like to thank for coming to IMFM. So this is your first time to be here?
Yeah, this is my first time, and I'm quite nervous when seeing this environment. But then I try to be cool.
Yeah, same goes to us because this is our first time of our appointment, so a bit nervous. But never we try.
Alright, so we are very glad to have you as our guest today, and we hope that our topic is about disability, and what you are sharing today, people get aware and
Can motivate us.
can motivate us. So we move for our first question, Dijinas.
So, Miss Fatihah, can you share with us about your educational background? I mean, like
Before we are going to deeply with our topic,
before we
right?
go deeply on our topic, we want to know a little bit about you. So
Okay.
can you share something?
Thank you for inviting me. And then, so my name is Fatihah, and then I have bachelor degree in audiology from Queen Margaret University, Edinburgh, UK. And my second qualification was postgrad diploma in special education from IPG campus in Belfast. So now I'm working with Ministry of Education under Special Education Division.
Special Education Division. So, so you are currently in educational audiologist. You are working as education audiologist.
Yes.
So can you tell us briefly what does
Educational
audiologist is?
Because our listener did not know, right? Maybe.
Okay, so it's a very quite rare actually.
Yeah.
So far, only 5 of us in Malaysia under the Ministry of Education. So, what is educational audiologist? So, educational audiologist is an audiologist but working in education setting. Usually, audiologists you also have like audiology degree in UIA, right?
Yeah,
In
we
Kuantan.
search.
But then they usually working in hearing industry or hospital. But then for our educational audiologists, we're working at school or we visiting school. Most of the time we're visiting school, but then in our clinic time we also have a center we call Pusat Perkhidmatan Pendidikan Khas, and then there actually I'm working there so as clinician and audiologist at the center. But then we also visiting school, especially for those who's diagnosed with hearing loss. I mean hearing impaired children, students lah basically. So visiting school and we see what's their needs, especially like the acoustic in the class, the seating arrangement. Does that support? They are well support in their classroom because school is the real place for kids.
Yeah, for them to learn about life.
Yes. So usually, basically we support kids to learn, especially the special need kids. But the different setting lah compared to audiologists in the hospital or any other setting.
So usually you will assist the kids on a certain period, or I mean like for 1 month, or you have specific period or not?
Okay. So far there's no specific period of time, but then so basically for me I have 2 settings right now. So in the clinics, so in 3PK, I do all the screening, hearing tests for diagnosis, and also rehabilitation. Especially I'll teach them the listening skill, and then that's one part, and then that's going to be like continuous, and then it takes a few sessions for the listening skills. That's the first setting. The second setting in school, usually it's by request. Most of the time, I will be referred from a hospital and parents. They ask me, can you help parents and teacher and also the kids in the school to kind of support them. For example, if they are wearing hearing aids, but not many people know about hearing aids, and then so when I go to school, I will tell the teachers and also the guru besar, all the pentadbir about what is hearing aid, what is this, what's the benefit of it, why this kid have to wear the hearing aids, and then we call that the psychoeducation. Okay, psychoeducation to the teachers and the staff, and also I'm gonna go into the class and then look at the setting in the class, acoustic, because I would say in some cases, when you go into the class, you can hear all the echo from the class, which is the sound quality is not really good, especially for those who's wearing hearing aid.
So it will affect.
It's going to affect the sound quality. So the child will be like distracted with the sound quality, and it's going to like affect their learning. And other thing that I would do is give awareness for kids, but then we have to tell them in kids way. Okay, for hearing aid, can we tell the kids like what is hearing aid? They won't understand. But then we use that. Oh, this is the telinga robot. So they will be there close to kids.
For us to attract their attention.
Yes, and then the things I'm really glad when I go to school, when we explain things to teachers and students, students in the class, it will increase their awareness, and then most of the kids like willing to help disabled kids. Someone with hearing loss or other disability. That's the thing that I really impressed with their reaction, especially kids
helping each other.
Yes, they're really like, oh, saya, I want to help everyone, and then it's increased that student self-esteem, because usually they think that like people won't accept me because I have disability, I can hear, I can communicate
They
well.
feel like being excluded.
Yes, actually when they see and they know that their friends want to help them, it's going to increase their self-motivation and also self-esteem.
Yeah, can I ask that you mentioned about the kids that having this problem. What's the age they are having this problem?
Okay.
Is it young age or?
Usually, there are usually for hearing loss, there are two types of hearing. We call that one congenital, which is since birth. Okay, when they born and then they also are diagnosed with hearing loss, and another one we call it acquired hearing loss, which is after born,
At the first they are normal.
they're still normal, and then usually because of a high fever or epilepsy or fall or the head trauma, it may cause hearing loss to the kids. Even we call that fall from the bed also cause hearing loss for either. I found that few cases happen because of that lah.
So can it be healed?
The hearing loss.
The hearing loss.
The hearing loss. Okay, it depends because there are two types of hearing loss. There are actually three types. Okay, we call that conductive hearing loss, sensory neural hearing loss, and the mixed hearing loss. For the conductive one, it happened because of the blockage, because of the earwax or infection or fluid in the ear. When we remove the blockage or the fluid, the hearing is either getting better or back to normal. That's the not permanent one lah. But then the second one is the sensory neural. It's about the what we call the sensory, the saraf. So that one gonna be permanent. I would say that one is permanent lah, basically.
So basically that needs the help of hearing aids for them.
Hearing aids or cochlear implant. That's another thing. That's two things. So the hearing aids, both of the device gonna help them to hear. But then the hearing aid, no need for operation. The cochlear implant, they need operation. that's two things that we need to consider before we give any device to kids with hearing loss.
Okay, actually, thank you because we hear very deep explanation about what is educational audiologist and what's their job to us. So we move to the next question.
Uh, Miss Fatihah, what inspired you to be in this profession? Was this profession one of your dreams since young, or basically it come after finish school?
Okay, maybe I would ask you two first.
Yeah.
Do you know what is audiologist when you was in school?
No.
So same goes to me. Okay, so basically, after SPM, and then actually my late grandfather, he had acquired hearing loss. So usually he just lip read. So I just like, what happened to my grandfather? Okay, so that's the first thing when I think, oh, maybe I need something, or I have to do something to help him. That's the first thing. And then when I went to A-level college for my foundation, and then at that time we need to choose. And then one of the opportunity, I have to go to one of the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and then that was the first time I saw a baby 6 months old, fitted with hearing aid. So that was the first time she hears sound after she was born. So that's the first reaction when you hear the sound, and then it's really touched my heart. Then I think, oh, maybe I need to do something, and maybe this field is my thing.
I see that incident inspired you.
Yes.
And motivated you.
It's like usually you saw it in the YouTube, all this thing, kan? But I saw it live lah, basically.
You see?
Or do
In
you have
front of
like
me.
own occupation? If you did not to be educational audiologist,
I want to be an engineer.
engineer, because
okay.
okay.
But then now I'm engineer for hearing impaired kids.
Hearing packages. So, when you started your profession as an educational audiologist, have you ever felt like you wanted to change to different career, maybe because of any problems that you feel like you want to change to different
Or this
career?
job is interest to you because I want to help other people.
I would say I'm proud with my job.
Yeah,
and I'm really
because
happy with it lah. So far as educational audiologist, I would say I'm happy with my job, because it's not all people can go to school and do all the thing. And then the thing is, you have to integrate the audiology, the medical field, with education, which is the real life. So I would say I'm happy with my job, and so far I don't think I want to change.
Okay, that's really good that we hear that. So before we going more further, let's listen to our current local top song. So stay tuned with us, your campus radio, IUM.
Hi guys, we are back with me DJ Ra and my
DJ
partner for today
Nas.
DJ Naz. So we today we bring to you guys our special guest Miss Fatihah from Special Education Division. So we continue with our question. So before that, I will explain to you that our topic for today is about disability for hearing impairment. Okay, the next question is can you share with us the type of level of diff? Since we read on the article, there's a few level of hearing loss. Is that true?
Okay, so yeah, so there are a few levels of hearing loss. There are 5 levels of hearing level actually. So the hearing level is determined by hearing test. So during hearing test, okay, do you ever had hearing test before?
Hearing test?
Yeah, both of you. Do you have any?
No.
No, hearing test.
For me, I don't have any experience with the.
Oh, so no experience. So hearing test. During hearing test, the audiologist will find the softest sound that you can hear, and then from your reaction or the result, and then we determine the level of hearing. So there are 5 levels of hearing. The first one is normal hearing. Second one, mild hearing loss, moderate hearing loss, severe hearing loss, and also profound hearing loss. There's a 5 types, 5 level of
5
hearing.
level of hearing. So we also can do a test
Yes,
for our hearing.
everyone can do the the hearing screening can be performed at the age of 1 day of life. So when the baby was born, and then the first day we can do the hearing screening for the baby to see how well the ears respond to the sound, and then how's the hearing, so that we know if for the early detection is very important, because if we know the kids have hearing loss, and then we know what's next. So if we don't know the kids have hearing loss, and then we keep like treating him or her like normal kids, and then after few years, and then we wonder why this kid's not talking, and then after like for example 4 years, and then after that we we bring the kids to hospital, and then been diagnosed with hearing loss. It's been like 4 years been wasted, because the kids can't hear all the information, and it's going to affect the language and speech development.
Because they already 4 years old.
Yes,
so
there's
it's quite
like
late for
4 years gap compared to other kids same age with the baby. So it is very important to know your level of hearing. So basically, if your hearing affected at the level of mild loss or moderate loss, you gonna have difficulty to hear what people like speech conversation, like what we daily speaking. So that's going to affect the how they perceive sound, and then how they gonna speak, because we like produce sound or speech as what we hear it. So it's very important to know your hearing level.
At my age, 20 something, 22,
That's
is that we have a probability to have
hearing
yeah,
loss. That's fall into the second type, the
Second type.
acquired hearing loss. Because usually for some like adult, they got hearing loss due to maybe if they got accident, yeah, because the head trauma, and then for certain I found this case lah before, when someone been exposed to loud noise, like for some people that work in a factory or construction site, that they didn't wear the ear protection. Yeah, and then they be exposed to hearing to the loud noise for quite a long time and a long period of time, then it might affect their hearing level, and they might got hearing loss lah because of that. But from research, it also say that after 55 years old, our hearing gonna drop naturally due to degeneration of hair cell in our ear. That's why usually our grandfather, or not even grandfather or grandmother, and also maybe our parents might have hearing loss due to age.
So is there so if you want to do tests on our hearing, if you want to do hearing test, so we can go to is there any specific center, or we can go to hospital?
Okay, so for a hearing test, you can go. It's either a hospital or hearing center. Then for kids, usually they also can go to see. Actually, you just try to find nearest audiologist near you lah. But then usually we refer to hospital, actually, that the first place. But then for school children, they also can be referred to our center, which is Pusat Perkhidmatan Pendidikan Khas,
which is under Ministry of Education.
Under Ministry of Education. For that one, we just cater like school age children lah.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. And as you mentioned before about hearing aids, if there any kids or student they did not wearing hearing aids, how we could communicate with them? Is that what we call hearing aid is necessary to them to wear?
Okay, hearing aid. Okay, about hearing aid. Hearing aids is a device that can amplify sound. It won't repair your ear or those things, but it's just going to amplify the sound. But then for hearing aid, or the audiologist will program the hearing aid according to your hearing level, so it won't be harmful for your ears. It won't be like too loud. actually it be programmed according to your hearing level. That's why for the first step of hearing aid fitting, we need to know your hearing level. So it is, I would say it's necessary, because if you want to talk, you have to hear. So that's why you have to wear the hearing aid or the any device. I mean, because there are few devices that can help hearing impaired children. Okay, so we really usually we try to fit hearing aid at the very young age, because we don't want a big gap between their developmental age and also their hearing age and also the speech.
Because it will affect their cognitive level.
Yes, because they're gonna waste. They have to catch up a lot if they want to compete with other kids. So that's why I would say, if someone with hearing loss, we as audiologists, we really suggest them to wear hearing aid. Even they wear hearing aid, because wearing hearing aids doesn't mean that you wear it and you can speak. But then wearing hearing aid with therapy, with all the speech therapy, and also commitment from parents and teachers or people around in your surrounding, gonna help you to develop speech. Without hearing aid, I would say you need to consider another mode of communication, which is sign language.
Which is sign language.
So we have to know what you want.
So I see that it is very important for us to for those who have hearing loss to wear hearing aids, because it will affect
it's going to affect your self-esteem, your communication and social, and even you can speak. Even you wearing hearing aid, but then you can speak. But it's gonna be good for your safety, because at least with hearing aid you can hear the buses, the traffic, the horn. But then without hearing aid, you hear nothing.
Basically nothing, or you just hear like you know what, sikit-sikit.
It depends. We have to refer to the hearing level, because there are 5 hearing level that we discussed just now. According what they can hear or can't hear. So that's why we need to check.
If they cannot hear nothing, it's very dangerous lah for them.
Yeah, because actually quite a lot of people lies in their hearing level between severe to profound loss. So actually they hear there's a very quiet environment lah actually. But for very very loud sound like aeroplane, they can hear, but they just like can detect the sound, not like, oh, that's aeroplane. They can determine what's that. They say, oh, that's sound.
What is that?
They just detect sound. Oh, got something. It's like that.
What it is.
But they don't know what is that.
So the clock already shows time for Azan prayer. So we will break for a while for Azan. So stay tuned with us, your campus radio IUM FM.
Hi guys, we are back with me DJ Rare and
DJ Nas here.
So with us today, Miss Nur Fatihah from Special Division Education. So our topic for today is we know more about hearing impairment as a disability. So we continue with our question.
So as you said that you don't have much experience on teaching the special students, then tell us a bit on how you attract their attention in class, or do you have any idea based on what your colleague have shared to you to attract the student with hearing loss, so to attract their attention to focus in class? Do you have any technique?
Okay, so actually I was a teacher of the deaf at Sekolah Pendidikan Khas Ipoh. Okay, so their main communication mode there is sign language. So I was there for almost like 4 months before I been transferred to Pusat Bukit Matai.
We have experience teaching for about 4 months.
Teaching for the deaf lah. Okay, so to attract the attention, actually for deaf people, their ears is not just here, but then they have got a hearing frame, which is they want to hear your voice, your facial expression and gesture, and also they also do the lip reading. So that's thing that we need to cater. Okay, so the first thing to attract their attention, you have to first thing just tap their beside the shoulder or anything, just to make them aware that someone's going to talk to you. That's the first
You have to
thing.
do body contact on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or anything for maybe for the girls or boys, we just like wave. At least you have to be present in their hearing frame
To make them notice us
Yes.
until them. Okay.
How
Yes.
many students actually in class?
in class. That's for in special education class. There's a very small, not very, but then it's like small class compared to the
Normal
mainstream normal class. Usually, the one that I taught was just four students.
Only 4.
Only four. Okay, so only 4 students, but then some of them wearing hearing aid, but then some don't. But then the one who wearing hearing aid, some of them can speak, but some of them also can't speak.
Can't speak.
That's why it will be biased if we generalize. When you wear hearing aid, you can speak. When you don't wear hearing aid, usually most of the time, who didn't wear the hearing aid, use sign language. But then in the class, we communicate with them by using what we call the total communication, which is we use sign language and also we speak, and also all the facial expression. We use all our cues to help them to hear and to respond and then to learn. Actually, that's why it's going to be like really tiring after the class, because you have to speak, you have to do the sign language, and you have to express through your facial expression. And then to teach hearing impaired, you need to like prepare them with lots of visual aids actually, because they learn more through their vision.
That's the way to attract that.
Yeah, that's the way. And then to start the class, usually I'm gonna start with like movement or do all the jumping, all those things, just to make them aware that okay, we're gonna do something in this lesson. And also for them, they are really hands-on people. That's why they are really good in skills, because they are hands-on people. When you show them to do certain things, because they are cognitively or mentally, they are like others, like others.
Yeah,
And then
just
just they can't hear. That's why you have to use their strength to help them progress. So usually in class, for example, if I like teach them accident, car crash, so I need to show them using toys.
Yeah, with prop lah.
Yeah, with
Okay,
props.
prop,
Actually,
really
yeah,
prop.
with props. Because if you just like, some people just like chalk and talk, or you just use your voice or the audio part, they can't imagine and then can relate them. So you just like you just like talk to yourself lah, basically. So you need to have other support, like the visual part. Use the real object, use picture to explain to them. After that, they knows what it means and they gonna enjoy the lesson. If not, they just like knock their head, and then next day they just like I don't know with the sign language.
They don't understand what.
Yeah, they don't understand. That's why they need all the we need to emphasize on visual and also audio. Use all the information that we can give them in order to help them to understand the information.
Yeah, basically with the way how we teach is important.
Yes.
With the visual that
Yes.
we can we call the effective way. Not all the theory said, because
Yes.
if all the theory will also be sleep in class.
Yes, yes,
Supposed to be.
that's true. May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, for hearing impact, do you think history or geography is easier?
For hearing.
For hearing impact, do you think history subject or geography subject is easier?
I think
Geography for me. Geography.
Geography for both. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I asked one of my students, and then he said he preferred geography. I asked why. Why?
Because geography is not like history. We learn all about history. It's really
It's about fact. It's about basically our history teacher will tell us what actually happened on that particular day and something like that. But if we
it's
learn
compact,
geography,
yeah.
our teacher will show the
The map
visual
of
the map, yes.
Yes, very good. That's very good.
Yeah, it also will attract us.
Yes. See, us that's our opinion. I would say so. And then for hearing impact, he was like form 1, and I asked him, which one is your favorite subject? I mean, easier for you. He said geography. Why? That's because I can see and I can understand what teachers say. Okay, they can see all the maps, use all the contour, all the mountain, those things, and then usually geography teacher usually use textbook and there's lots of picture in it, right? But then for history, why you struggle in history? Because he said, I don't understand the story. They can understand because usually when we tell the story, we just like tell using the audio, our voice. Then without the picture or like if like someone acting or would be something different. But then if you just use your voice, just the audio input, they're just gonna struggle and they're lost. And one of the thing for hearing impact, their vocab is not like as good as our vocab. So that's quite limited vocab. That's why we need to explain more to them and then give them time to respond and give them chance to respond. Actually they can respond, but then we need to give more information before they respond.
So can you share with us what do you enjoy most about teaching special needs students, or any
because of the kid itself is you really enjoy, or it's
on teaching them hearing impaired students?
Hearing impaired student. Okay, teaching hearing impaired student, the thing that I like love most is to see their growth, which is their progress. Maybe today you just like talk to yourself, like you just in the session you just like, okay, this is this is this, this is, and you keep repeating the same thing, but then you hear nothing from the kids in that session. But then after few months or even years, you can hear what you taught them a few months back or
you can see
few
the
years
result.
back.
The result.
Yes, but then the result is takes some time.
Yeah.
But then
slowly,
you know what you taught them, they're just gonna store. But then when they're ready, they're gonna produce this the words.
They will apply.
Yes, that's why that's the thing that. But then you have to be patient lah for that.
Of course, you
But
have to
then
be
other than that, it's gonna be something that I like most lah. Even I had one story. I got one student. She's 12 years old, wearing cochlear implant. But then when we gonna like give salam, assalamualaikum, and then she can answer waalaikumsalam. But actually that girl don't know how to give assalamualaikum, give salam.
why?
At the age of 12 years old, because she has no chance to give salam, and then no one taught her what is assalamualaikum.
Oh, no one taught her.
Yeah. So I figured it out, and then I teach her assalamualaikum. So she's after that she's applied that to when we
Everyone.
when we came to our center and then open the door and say assalamualaikum. That's something that I really
Progress
like.
that
Yeah,
we
that's the
impressed lah.
Yeah, that's what I impressed with it, and actually I'm happy with them. Even I have to wait, but then still actually even they didn't respond at that moment, but then they store what we see. They just need more information and repetition in order for them to ready to produce it.
As just now you mentioned a few times about implant, cochlear implant. So does we can do that operation and the implant in Malaysia? Is there any hospital?
Yes, under KKM, Ministry of Health, they have like 10 satellite hospital. Okay, so we have board of cochlear implant national cochlear implant team, and I'm one of the board members, represent Ministry of Education. Also, okay, so for the implant, usually the hospital gonna select and then evaluate the candidates. So during the meeting, they're gonna present. It's either that child is suitable for hearing for the implantation. So because it's gonna the evaluation involve the hearing level, the commitments of the parents, because for the cochlear implant, it's not about you're gonna be success in the cochlear implant after the operation. I mean during the operation, after the operation finish, and then we could consider, okay, the cochlear implant is successful. It's not about that. That's actually it's one of the thing, but then that's not about the sole thing. But then it is the successful of cochlear implant is after the implantation. Yeah, because they need the commitment from parents to attend therapy, the therapy session, and the commitment from the family members actually to give input for the kids with cochlear implant to learn language and then to communicate.
Does it take years for the therapy after the
after the implantation,
after
the
the
operation?
implantation,
Yes, it take like quite years lah. But then for the first year, usually the kids gonna get a weekly appointment with speech therapist to make it to make the progress faster. So that's why the frequent appointment or the therapy session gonna impact the the progress of the kids, and also the commitment from parents, because you only see the therapist like once a week, but then you see your parents every day. So that's why we really emphasize for parents to commit, to commit and then do all the home based program. So usually the therapist gonna guide the parents what you have to do at home and this thing. And it's depends on the parents lah. If you want your child to progress, you have to do it at home. If not, you're gonna see the progress is gonna be like quite slow.
So the parent itself have to keep what you call continue the progress of the implementers. Not only depend on
not only depends on the therapist. The parents have to do like double, triple effort in order for their kids to progress.
So what do you hope to contribute to your current area of special education? What do you hope you can contribute to society? What do you think?
Is it specific to hearing impaired or special education?
Special education.
Special education. So for special education, I really hope that people gonna be like aware, and where people gonna support and respect people with disability, because they also human, but then they have extra thing, which is that disability. But then from that, we also have to emphasize on their strength, not their weakness. Yeah, because they also have their own strength, which is because like some people don't look at their strength but then look at their weakness. So I think people with disability, we need to respect what their needs, and also help them to actually like progress in at school, maybe in academic, but then also in their life. And I also really hope that the support came from people's in surrounding, not only the family members, but people who don't have anything like related the society. You know what that the people that don't have any family relationship with them, or family members with hearing or with disability. So I think that's the thing that I want.
You hope you can contribute to that.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fatihah, for the explanation. Before we are going to the last question, let's to listen with the current local talk song, and stay tuned with us, your campus radio.
IUM FM.
Hello guys, we are back. I am DJ Ray and with me.
DJ Nas here.
So our topic for today is to know more about hearing impairment as a form of disability, and with us special guest which is Nur Fatihah from the Special Education Division. So we move toward to our last question, which is
So Miss Nur Fatihah, what is your advice to our listeners and our fellow Malaysians for them to give a fair treatment to people with disabilities?
Okay, so this gonna be my last word lah.
Inshallah, maybe that's right.
My last word. Okay. The first thing I really hope is about the awareness, and also the things about respect. Because one thing I think is start with respect. Because some people just don't care if you see the disabled parking, disabled toilet. That's that very tiny thing, but then it's really mean.
They take it for granted.
Yeah, because we didn't see the importance of it to us, but then for them it's something big and something that they like treasure for it. So that's the first thing. We respect what's been supplied for them. That's the first thing, the respect. And then the second thing, that people aware and try to cooperate with them. If you know, I usually emphasize on the early detection. If you see the red flag among your kids, your niece, your nephews, or kids around you, and then try bring them to see the professional. That's the early detection is very important, because we try to help them as early as we can, before the gap getting bigger, the age gap getting bigger. That's what I see. And then the age of 3 to 6 years old is the golden age. For me, I would classify it as the golden age, because that range of age,
We are learning.
yeah, we are learning very fast actually at that stage. And then if you waste that time, the child gonna struggle, and then it's gonna be like a real struggle when they enter the school, because school is the real world for kids. So actually, that's for kids, but then we have to see from the adult perspective. All come from parents, and then the society. So I would say, I hope if you see like people with special needs, try to help them, but then not try to kind of insult them. Try to help them nicely, because they also human actually.
They also same like us.
Yes, they're being like treated fairly, and some people don't like the special treatment. But then that's why I'd say treat them nicely and suitably. Perhaps.
Yeah. So basically, what I can see on social media right now, they are some people, they are already aware with disabilities when there is an incident where someone park on disabilities parking, then someone will take pictures and they try to educate. Actually, they try to educate people on social media that don't park on disabilities parking. Yeah. So for me, I think that's good, because people start to aware with this issue.
Yeah, maybe we still in the progress of learning. The progress of the awareness and like learning. That's why if you can spread the words about helping disabled people, that'd be a good thing. I think this is a good platform for us to talk about disability and special need people. And yes,
inshallah this segment will be continued.
Okay, so basically what I can highlight again is we should respect each other, and what we can help toward the people with disability, we should help with and treat them fairly. And also we should have a more awareness,
Yes,
start
it's
from
more
ourselves.
awareness.
Yeah, start from ourselves first. Then it's
Yes,
go to the
indeed.
society.
Yes.
Yes.
Ourselves is more important.
So I think for today is our segment is coming to the end. So thank you again to the Miss Fatihah coming to the our UIA campus Gombak and IIMFM
No
as
problem at
our
all.
guest.
No problem at all.
So we are really amazed with the stories and information that you have shared with us just now, and it really motivates us and our fellow audience and our fellow listeners. So we hope. Thank you again, Miss, and we wish you all the best in your career
Thank
as
you.
a
You
special
too.
as a audiologist, educational audiologist.
Yes.
And we hope public perception towards special needs people will change, and as we intend that to be. So we hope to meet you again in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank
Inshallah.
you,
Inshallah.
Miss.
Alright.
So that's all for our segment today.
Okay, thank you for listening. So
In your campus radio,
Yeah,
IIUM FM.